Live from Hadlock Field, this is Sea Dogs Baseball on ABC 8 WMTW. Now, here's News 8 WMTW Sports Director Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to season number 12 here at Hanley Field and season number 12 on News 8 WMTW. Opening night, always a festive time here at Hanley Field in the city of Portland. The grass is not yet a shade of green, but still it will do after we had close to 24 inches of snow on the ground here at Hanley Field just the last 2 weeks, but we are ready for baseball tonight. Here we are, season opener number 12 here. The Sea Dogs take on the Norwich Navigators on News 8 WMTW. I'll be joined by Mike Bordick, Maine's very own Mike Bordick, in just a moment, who threw out the ceremonial first pitch as we check things out. First of all, the starting lineups for the Norwich Navigators. Fred Lewis leads things off, followed by A.J. LaBarbera. Ryan Bushy at third base hitting third. Dan Ortmeyer in right field in the cleanup spot. Tyler Von Snell is at first base and hitting fifth. Carlos Vandelrama in left field hitting sixth. Julian Benvendeles will be hitting in the seventh spot, followed by Trey Lunsford, and Tim Hudding will be hitting ninth at shortstop. Defensively for the Portland Sea Dogs, we have the starting pitcher is John Papelbon, the righty. Last year at Sarasota, 12-7 with a 2.64 ERA. He is an outstanding young prospect, 6'4", 225, 24 years old, and the Red Sox fourth-round pick, 114th overall in the June 2003 Major League Baseball draft. Number 3 prospect in the Red Sox farm system, number 91 overall in minor league baseball, that by Baseball America, and he is said to have the best fastball and slider in the Red Sox organization. Defensively for the Portland Sea Dogs, first time this season, Chris Durbin will be in left field, followed by David Murphy, outstanding outfielding prospect in center field. Brandon Moss is in right. Around the horn, Sandberg, Ramirez, Pedroia, and Jeremy West from third to first. Alberto Concepcion is behind the plate. And as we said, number 50, the big righty, John Papelbon, delivers the first pitch here at Hadlock Field as we start season number 12 here on News 8 WMTW and Hadlock Field. The first pitch is called ball one. Home plate umpire is David Yule as we get underway at 6:32 tonight. Papelbon, his first full season of baseball was 2003. As we said, a fourth-round pick out of Mississippi State. Played his college baseball for the legendary coach Ron Polk down in Starkville. 92-98 on the radar gun, as his fastball is usually clocked. He'll be consistent, though, low to mid-90s. Also a slider, which has been worked back into his repertoire. A splitter and also a cutter in the works. He has worked primarily with Al Nipper, the Red Sox pitching instructor, on a regular basis. Rings up his first strikeout here of 2005. So one up and one down, making quick work of Fred Lewis. And that brings up the number 2 hitter, the second baseman, A.J. LaBarbera, who hits from the right side of the plate. So one up and one down for Papelbon, and that's into left field. Chris Durbin coming in, can't make the sliding catch, gets right past him, and that'll be extra bases for LaBarbera. Into second base, and that's the first base runner here at Hadlock Field for 2005. That's a base hit and E7. The error going to the left fielder, Chris Durbin. So one out, one on. That brings up Brian Busher, the third baseman, hitting in the number 3 spot tonight. There was numbers last year from San Jose. 292 batting average, 4 home runs. There's a called strike, 93 miles an hour on the radar gun in right field from John Papelbon. As a Roger Clemens-esque type of build at 6'4" and 225, and as fate would have it, he's a big fan of Roger Clemens. 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2. As we said, Papelbon has been working with Red Sox pitching instructor Al Nipper, former Major League Baseball pitcher. That's to the left side. Hanley Ramirez, outstanding young shortstop for the Red Sox organization, and a quick 6-3 putout. And LaBarbera advancing now to third base on the ball that was hit to the left side of the plate. Now Mike Bordick joins us. How's the arm feel? You threw out the first pitch.
It felt cold.
You're not used to this sort of fare, are you?
No, that was one of the toughest throws I've ever had to make right there.
Thought you'd be more accustomed to going deep in the hole at shortstop and just throwing it from there.
Yeah, it might have been easier actually to throw from shortstop rather than pitcher's mound.
Well, the situation right now is a runner at third with 2 outs in the top of the first inning. Dan Ortmeyer at the plate now for the Norwich Navigators. John Papelbon been pretty consistent, 93 miles an hour with his fastball. That checks in at 94 miles an hour. Opening day always a festive time, Mike, regardless of the level of baseball. I mean, Major League, Double-A baseball, it's such a festive night.
Oh, it sure is. You know, there's always that, you know, that great feeling of what's going to happen over the course of the year. And obviously in Double-A here, these guys want to make it back up or get to the big leagues and stuff. So it's exciting.
We'll pick up on that. Couple of strikeouts for John Papelbon. We go to the home half of the first after this on News 8 WMTW. Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick back at Hadlock Field, season number 12 here on News 8 WMTW. Check things out for the Sea Dogs offensively. Durbin, Pedroia, Ramirez, 1, 2, 3. Jared Sandberg hitting in the 4th spot tonight, followed by Jeremy West. Also David Murphy hitting 6th tonight. Brandon Moss, an outstanding outfielding prospect, hitting 7th in right field tonight. Alberto Concepcion is behind the plate, and Sheldon Foltz is tonight's DH. We'll get to the Norwich defense momentarily, but first things first here. This is Chris Durbin leading things off for the Portland Sea Dogs tonight. As John Papelbon strands a runner at third base. He had 10 pitches, actually 10 strikes and 1 ball. This is a shot down the left field line by Durbin, making a big turn. He'll hold up there at first base. So very aggressive on the first pitch there, Mike, and going after the first pitch down the left field line.
Yeah, that was nice. It's good to start the year off with a base hit, and now he's hoping that he can continue it and maybe get 200 hits this year.
Good looking swing there from Chris Durbin, the left fielder, and that brings up Dustin Pedroia, the second baseman, a product out of Arizona State University. So 1 pitch and 1 on. They're facing Alfredo Simon, and that ball gets away from the catcher Lunsford, and Durbin will go to second base. We'll check things out defensively first for the Norwich Navigators. Valderrama, Lewis, Ortmeyer in the outfield. Busher, Hunting, LaBarbera, and Von Schnell around the horn. Trey Lunsford is behind the plate, and Alfredo Simon is on the mound tonight for the Norwich Navigators. That is a pass ball, which allows Durbin to go to second base, and Pedroia now looks at a ball, actually scored a bunt, back right off.
It's a good idea early in the game to try to push a run across the plate and do a little situational baseball right there.
There's a good look at the Sea Dogs second baseman. He was a shortstop at college at Arizona State University. Now converted here to the right side of the infield. 3 balls and no strikes, and now Trey Lunsford will talk to his pitcher and just tell him basically what right now, Mike?
Oh, just settle down, throw a strike. You know, he's got to try to get back in the count and relax a little bit here. You know, giving up that first base hit, start the game, probably got him a little rattled. So wants him to settle down.
3-0 pitch now as Pedroia takes all the way now 3-1. Alfredo Simon, 6'4", 170 from Santo Diego in the Dominican Republic. Last year splitting time between San Jose and Clearwater. 1 on, nobody out. Bottom of the first inning here at Hadlock Field. Sea Dogs and Navigators on opening night.
Oh.
Popped it up, and this will be the left side of the infield. Shallow left field, back of the lip. Tim Hutting has it. That's a big out there for Alfredo Simon.
It was a big out. You know, in that situation, I think is a number 2 hitter. It's early in the game, and you got a 3-1 pitch. You know, might have been a little up in the zone, but might have tried to do a little bit too much with it. I think he showed that bunt early on in his at bat, and number 2 hitters are usually the situational guys, and he might want to keep that in mind, you know, try to execute and get a guy over in the scoring position at third base.
Well, here's Hanley Ramirez, the #1 prospect in the Red Sox system for the 3rd consecutive year, as rated by Baseball America. #10 prospect in all of minor league baseball. Had a fantastic spring in 13 spring training games. Hit .398 with 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, and a couple of stolen bases, and may have made the play of the entire spring by turning a 6-3 triple play against the Phillies. He caught a line drive, tagged second base, and then threw out to first. You don't see that every day, and especially in spring training, Mike.
No, triple play is pretty rare.
Reaching for that one, left side of the infield. Hutting checks the runner. And that's exactly what they did not want to do, go to the left side of the infield, Mike.
No, didn't want to do that. And that looked like a breaking ball, too. You know, pitcher obviously showed he fell behind the second hitter and might want to be a little bit more patient right there.
So 2 big outs there from Simon, and that brings up Jared Sandberg, who is the 3rd baseman. He's number 26 this season for the Portland Sea Dogs. Chris Durbin at second base now. Alfredo Simon trying to get out of this jam here in the bottom half of the 1st inning. First pitch to him is outside. Very good crowd tonight here at Hadlock Field, considering it's close to, what, 45 degrees. You were out there just for a few minutes throwing out the first pitch, and you're just warming up.
Yeah, it is chilly out there. They love their baseball here.
1-0 pitch now to Jared Sandberg. There was a threat of rain today, but it never came down here in the city of Portland, and it's quite amazing considering, as we were talking about in the open, about 2 weeks ago there was close to 2 feet of snow on this baseball field. Sandberg has played nearly 200 games with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays at the major league level.
I played against this kid, and he showed some promise with the Devil Rays and hit some home runs, and you know, he's got some pop, and I don't know what happened with the Devil Rays and him, but you know, I think it's a good pickup by the Red Sox, and he might be able to help him down the road.
He is 27 years old, from Olympia, Washington, now resides in Tampa. And if you're 27 years old and you have nearly 200 Major League Baseball games, what's your mindset coming into the season?
Well, he obviously wants to make it back to the big leagues, and you know, this organization is probably going to be good for him, and that, you know, he's going to get some at bats. He's got the big league experience, and if a guy goes down in the big leagues, you know, they might give him a call to come up and fill in and help him win some games.
6'3" and 210. Pitch. Well hit, left field, and that is gone.
Wow.
First home run this season into the nets, and it's a quick 2-0 lead, courtesy of Jared Sandberg. 2-run shot into the netting at the Monster.
That's a nice way to start the year right there.
Two-0 Sea Dogs on the home run by Jared Sandberg. He hits 25 home runs in the major leagues, and he has number 114 of his minor league career. Here it is again, Mike.
Oh, got it up in the zone, right down the heart of the plate. You know, with that big league experience, you know, he knows what to look for in those situations. If you make a mistake to a big league hitter, he's going to make you pay. Certainly did right there.
There it is, full extension. No doubt about that one. First home run over the main monster this season. That brings up Jeremy West, the first baseman, for the Sea Dogs, and a 2-0 lead for John Papelbon. As we were saying to start the inning, 1 ball and 10 strikes. That's very impressive. What a great ratio so far to get things going.
That's impressive. You know, I think that's what they stress for, especially young pitchers, is throw strikes, and it looks like we have some pretty good fielders out there. So take advantage of your defense.
Lewis, Valderrama, and Hutting, neither one could get it, and it drops in between all three. And the Sea Dogs have another base runner on the bloop single there by Jeremy West, Mike.
Yeah, you got to love those ones too. You know, guy hits a ball over the green monster, but I'll tell you what, tomorrow on the box score, that's going to look just like a line drive up the middle. So,
well, the Sea Dogs are spraying the ball right now. Durbin, of course, the base hit into left field, got to second on the error. The 2-run shot by Sandberg, and now a little blooper to center field from Jeremy West, and that brings up David Murphy, a great young prospect, the center fielder. It's a piece of that one that's fouled away. Murphy with some great tools. He's out of Baylor University. Sure, he's basking in the glow right now of his women's national championship team, which knocked off Michigan State 2 nights ago. And now he's focusing on baseball. Good looking lefty there. That's ripped into right field. Jeremy West making the turn. He's heading to third, and runners now at the corners with 2 outs. So they're coming around on Alfredo Simon here early on, Mike.
Yeah, that's you know, they've been aggressive. They started right with the first hitter. I think he set the tempo, and they've really capitalized on it.
Here it is again, Mike.
Looks like he got out in front, but was able to hook that around there and get a good part of the bat on it. I think the key to, you know, being a successful hitter is keeping your bat through the strike zone as long as possible, and he certainly showed that right there.
The Sea Dogs now bring up their 7th batter to the plate in the form of Brandon Moss, the right fielder. It all started with Chris Durbin, a single to left field, went to second on the error in left field by Valderrama. And then Jared Sandberg hit one into the nets in left field, making it 2-0. Jeremy West loops one into center field, and then David Murphy comes around on that one into right field. This will be the 20th pitch of the inning so far, Mike, for Alfredo Simon.
Yeah, they're working him. You know, I think, you know, go back to that leadoff hitter, and he showed how aggressive, you know, it looked like they wanted to be, and then it immediately got in his head, and he fell behind the next batter, and he's really had to work so far.
Here's Brandon Moss, 21-year-old from Monroe, Georgia, the 8th round pick in 2002. Number 2 in Baseball America's top 30 organization prospects in the Red Sox organization. They tab him as the best hitter for average, and the Boston Red Sox minor league player of the year. Hitting in the 7th spot tonight.
Oh,
that's inside. They'll brush him back.
Red Sox are loaded with prospects, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Filling the fruits of Theo Epstein and Ben Cherington's first draft from a couple of years back.
They've done a great job. I would say the Red Sox have to be the top organization, top to bottom.
Jammed him there. That's fouled away. And this roster is certainly loaded. Of course, we've mentioned the likes of Hanley, Ramirez, Dustin Pedroia, Jeremy West, David Murphy, Brandon Moss. Some great pitchers for that matter. Tonight's starter, John Papelbon, John Luster. This class is loaded, Mike, and we'll see some of these players hopefully at Fenway Park in just a couple of years.
I'm sure we will.
West and Murphy are base runners at 3rd and 1st. 1 and 2 now. Tomas to second base. The Barbara spins and fires, but the Sea Dogs get a couple of runs courtesy of the 2-run shot into the nets from Jared Sandberg. Quick 2-0 lead here on opening night at Hadlock Field. It's top of the 2nd inning here on News 8 WMTW. Opening night, Hadlock Field. Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick, 14-year Major League Baseball player and Winterport, Maine native, former UMaine Black Bear. It's a pleasure to have you with the booth tonight. It's something new for you tonight. This is your first time doing this. Yeah, it's great to be here. It kind of brings back the nerves of when I was a player, you know. I've been excited all day. John Papelbon works into his 2nd inning, 11 pitches in the 1st inning, 1 ball, 10 strikes. Good command so far. Very good, very good. You know, this is what they look for at the major league level, you know, pounding that strike zone. This is Tyler Von Schell, the first baseman. You were talking about maybe the nerves were playing like in the Subway Series. You had the Yankees and Mets. I mean, this should be nothing for you here being on TV. Well, I'm out of my element up here. You know, I feel much more comfortable out on the field in front of 50,000 hostile New York fans than up here in the booth. 2 balls and 1 strike now from John Papelbon. That is to the left side. Hanley Ramirez gobbles it up behind the bag and a quick 6-3 putout. Hanley, Mike, is rated the #1 prospect in the Red Sox organization. You being a former shortstop, I mean, getting an early look at this guy, what do you make? Well, I've seen him make 2 plays tonight, and obviously flawlessly. It looks like he's got great actions, you know. Like I said, this is only the 2nd ground ball I've seen him field, but you can tell a lot by a guy's composure out there. He isn't rushing anything. He seems like he understands the situations and makes nice throws to first base. Yeah, he came here last year, the first week of August, of course, with all the hype, and he certainly lived up to all the billing as the obligatory 5-tool player with some speed and some power, good quick wrists, and also some pretty decent range as a shortstop, which is, of course, necessary at the major league level.
Boy, nowadays it seems like all the shortstops that are coming through are 5-tool players, you know, power, speed, everything. And thanks to guys like Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez and Nomar kind of setting the stage for that. So they're really making great shortstops nowadays.
Here's Carlos Valderrama, the left fielder, with one out here as John Papelbon works into his second inning. He's allowed just the one hit and gets his third strikeout of the night. So 3 strikeouts so far, Mike, in an inning and 2/3.
It's good to see. It's good to see, you know, your top prospect going out there and having a great start like he is tonight.
Looks as if he'll be on a 75 pitch limit tonight, only through 5 innings. And so far he's been very impressive. The young man from Jacksonville, Florida, and played his college baseball for Mississippi State, where he was used primarily as a closer, as a relief pitcher. He enjoyed that role. He said he enjoyed that role of closing out a baseball game in front of about 15,000 fans. Of course, you get that down there in the SEC. As Benavidez hits one high, deep, way back, and gone, and it's a 2-1 baseball game. And just as I say that, it's 2-1, Mike.
That ball was hit a long way. I don't know what's on the other side of that Sitco sign, but whatever it is has a dent in it.
Julian Benavidez with his first home run on the season. Here it is again, Mike.
I couldn't really tell where the pitch location was, but it was definitely a spot that he liked it. Here it is. Oh, right down the middle.
Wheelhouse.
Yeah, wheelhouse there.
So Julian Benavidez with the home run. It's 2-1. Obviously his first on the season. Here's the number 8 hitter, is Trey Lunsford, the catcher.
I guess sometimes, you know, when you do just consistently pound the strike zone, the hitters are obviously going to be more aggressive in the zone, and right there it hurt him a little bit. But, you know, hopefully it doesn't affect him and he continues with the same, you know, routine here, consistently pounding the zone and getting ahead of hitters.
We talk about his fastball ranging from 92 to 98 miles an hour, consistently in the low 90s as his main pitch, his number 1 pitch, also as a slider. And strikeout number 4.
Good pitch.
Nice job of getting out of that by John Papelbon, actually coming back and toning for that home run from Julian Benavidez. It's 2-1 now as we go to the home half of the second on ABC 8. Norm Carcos and Mike Bordick back at Hadlock Fields as we have a 2-1 baseball game. John Papelbon has 4 strikeouts, 3 looking, 25 pitches right now. That means he had 14 in inning number 2, and Julian Benavidez hit that towering shot. We've had a couple of home runs here, Mike, both into the nets, into the main monster.
Yeah, looks like the guys are gunning for that wall.
Bottom half of the second inning, Alberto Concepcion, is the catcher for the Portland Sea Dogs this season. Product out of the University of Southern California. It's Concepcion, Fultz, and back to the top of the order, Chris Durbin in a 2-1 game. So entertaining game so far. And John Papelbon, as we talked about, 14 pitches in the second inning. That's up the middle, and that'll find its way through for a base hit for Alberto Concepcion. On a night like that, Mike, you kind of hit the fist of the bat here. It's got to.
Yeah, it's going to sting a little bit for sure. It'll probably stay with him the rest of the game if he did get jammed a little bit there.
So a little dribbler up the middle. Sea Dogs already with 5 hits, so very aggressive approach at the plate so far, Mike.
They look great. They really do. And looks like the coach is over there talking to the hitter. I wonder if they're going to start trying to maybe lay down some bunts or do some hit and running and things like that to push another run across the plate.
That's Todd Kloss, the Sea Dogs manager, replacing Ron Johnson, who was promoted to AAA Pawtucket. Kloss has spent most of his career in the Angels organization as a player or a coach. And his first season at the helm here in AA baseball for the Sea Dogs. Sheldon Fultz, veteran Portland Sea Dog, in the 9-hole tonight. The DH hitting from the left side of the plate with a runner at first base. That is Alberto Concepcion. Alfredo Simon in his second work. That's the right side. Von Snell, nice pickup there, and he'll touch the bag just for the force out, and Concepcion goes to second base. They're really coming around on these inside pitches, Mike, so far.
Yeah, and that's a great opportunity for him to shoot that hole over there with the first baseman holding the runner on. He's got a bigger hole over there on the right side, and it looked like that was what he was trying to do. The first baseman did a nice play. I think that's a tough play for a first baseman to be able to bounce off the bag and still cover the ground over there.
Back to the top of the order we go. Chris Durbin. Big swing and a miss. Lace one into center field, and Carlos Valderrama made an attempt at it. Two 5-1 for the Sea Dogs. 1-2-0 for the Norwich Navigators. It's a called strike. As we said, David Ewell's the home plate umpire. Jason Klein is at first base. Brian Riley is at third base tonight for the Blue. Alberto Simon, excuse me, takes his foot off the rubber. There's a good look right there at Alberto Concepcion. All bundled up tonight. Cold night for baseball.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch. That's upstairs. What was the coldest opening night you played in?
Boy, that would have to be Milwaukee, probably in '92. I remember waking up in the morning and they were shoveling snow off the field. And, one of the newscasts had the field on it. The wind was blowing about 20 miles an hour. Oh my gosh.
The old County Stadium. Nice pitch there from Alfredo Simon, and Chris Durbin goes down swinging. First strikeout tonight for Simon. That's 2 outs, and that brings up Dustin Pedroia, who played primarily as a shortstop at Arizona State University, a Golden Spikes Award finalist, which is the college baseball equivalent of the Heisman Trophy, now playing at second base. How much of a transition will that be going from the left side of the bag to the right, Mike?
Well, it takes some time. You know, it's just a totally different look over there on the right side of the infield. But obviously, he's got some skills. He played shortstop, and so his hands are good. The turn at double play might be a little bit more mechanical, and it takes a little bit more time to get used to. But obviously, he's a great athlete, and I'm sure they wouldn't have asked him to make that, you know, transition if he wasn't going to be able to handle it.
Speaking of shortstops, that's Hutting. And with that, the Sea Dogs strand a runner at second base. That is Concepcion, as Alfredo Simon gets out of that inning with no damage. Still 2-1 after 2 complete here from Hadlock Field on News 8 WMTW.
Why take your family to a casual dining restaurant and pay $8 a person when you can get the same quality meal for half the price at KFC? Get 10 pieces of Kentucky Fried Chicken, 2 large home-style sides, and 4 biscuits for less than $4 a person. Your dollar goes further at KFC.
Colleen and Maureen are identical twins, have identical cars with identical auto body damage. Colleen uses Mako, and Maureen another auto body shop in town. Colleen's car was repaired faster and cost $400 less. Better get Mako, America's Cosmolution specialist.
Oh, nice to see you, Miss Heaton.
Oh, Mr. Pharmacist, so you shop here too?
Well, actually, I work here.
But you're a pharmacist.
Yeah, Osco pharmacist.
And Mrs. Shaw's.
Last time I checked.
Am I missing something?
Now there's an Osco pharmacy in your Shaw's. We give you over 59 years of experience and a network of 2,000 pharmacies and 6,000 pharmacists nationwide.
So I guess I'll be seeing you around Shaw's.
Well, technically, Osco.
Only at Shaw's.
1, 2, 3.
Reach for dairy and reach your goal of a trimmer waist. Clinical studies indicate 3 servings of cheese, milk, or yogurt each day can give better results in trimming waistlines than cutting calories alone. Because dairy's natural mix of nutrients helps the body lose more inches around the waist.
1, 2, 3.
It's in your reach. See other women's success and learn more at 3aday.org.
It is the top of the third from Hadlock Field. Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick on opening night 2005, our 12th season of baseball here in the city of Portland, joined now by Slugger's Kid 2005, Shane Everett. Shane, how are you tonight?
Good.
How are things going?
Good.
Well, how excited are you about being Slugger's Kid for 2005?
I'm really excited.
Yeah, why is that?
Because I get a lot of free games to go to and all kinds of stuff.
Uh-huh. You got a chance to have a photo shoot with Slugger as well. And you'll be doing some PSAs with us over the course of time. You excited about that?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you got to be excited about beating Mike Bordick here, who played Major League Baseball for 14 seasons. I'm sure you watched him on TV, huh?
No.
No? That's not the answer you're supposed to say.
I love the honesty. I love it.
Let's keep those headsets on you here. So, now who's your favorite team?
Cardinals.
The St. Louis Cardinals. Oh, wow.
Oh, come on, Dad.
But your dad, Clinton, has a Red Sox. How did you get to be a St. Louis Cardinals fan?
I don't know. There was this box of grape nuts, and I just chose.
Now, you're from Freeport, and what grade are you in?
Fourth.
Fourth grade. And how many times do you get a chance to come down to Hadlock Field?
I don't know. I can't remember.
5 or 6 times?
Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite players here?
I don't really pay attention.
Don't pay
to the
attention?
names.
But all we know is that you're a big St. Louis fan.
Yep.
Yeah. We're here with Shane Everett, who is this year's Sluggers kid, along with Mike Bordick and Norm Karkos, top of the 3rd inning here, as John Papelbon works into his 3rd inning here, and Tim Hutting, the shortstop, in the number 9 hole tonight. Full count. Here's the pitch from Papelbon, and that is laced foul. You staying warm tonight?
Yes.
This is a cold night for opening night. Where are you staying, in one of these skyboxes?
Yes.
They're taking good care of you?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to see you throughout the course of the season, I'm sure, here at Hadlock Field. And we'll be seeing you on some of our PSA spots, right?
Yep.
And we can get a chance to see you on some of the pictures there with Slugger himself. And that's a nice play at first base by Jeremy West. And you're going to stay for the whole game tonight?
Yes.
Even though it's a school night, right?
Yes.
You get permission to stay up late.
Uh-huh.
I want your dad to go find some old film of Mike Bordick so we can watch him play, so you can say you saw Mike Bordick in person.
Yep.
Easy on the old film there, Norm.
Not the old black and white film.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
All right. Well, Shane Everett, we thank you so much for your time. You did a very nice job tonight. And we'll see you over the course of time here at Hadlock Field. Sound fair?
Yep.
All right, Shane, thank you so much. All right, that's Shane Everett from Freeport, 9 years old.
Shane.
And he is this year's 2005 Sluggers kid. All right, Shane, thank you so much. Top of the order we go. Fred Lewis with the RBI. With the single to left field, excuse me. I didn't mean old film, Mike, like old black and white film. I meant some of the from a couple of years back.
Don't try to save yourself now.
So 1 out, 1 on as Fred Lewis singles. And that is the 3rd hit tonight for the Norwich Navigators. A.J. LaBarbera at the plate now for the Norwich Navigators. 2-5-1 for the Sea Dogs. 1-3-0 for the Portland Sea Dogs.
That was a nice pitch right there. A little breaking ball. Get ahead in the count. Very good pitch.
Papelbon delivers. Runner goes to the left side. Sandberg, one play. That is to first base. They're going to go to third, try to get the runner there. But nobody was covering the bag, Mike. What happened there?
Well, that's just some aggressive base running right there. I think Jared Sandberg, probably obviously took his eye off the runner, and he's got to bounce back there. Maybe even the shortstop has to be aware of that and run over. But, you got to tip your hat to the aggressive base running for sure.
So Fred Lewis now at third base. That is the tying run. And Brian Busher now at the plate, the third baseman. Is 0 for 1. Grounded out to Pedroia. Back in the first inning. So 2 outs, runner at third. Papelbon delivers home. Of course, some of these young kids, Mike, you have your own golf tournament at Martindale every year. In October, the Mike Bordick Classic, which benefits the Maine Children's Cancer Program.
Yeah, that's been so rewarding. Ernie Gagne, one of my longtime friends from Lewiston, got me involved with the Maine Children's Cancer Program after one of his friends, his son, was found to have a brain tumor. And it's been so rewarding for me and my family to be a part of that program. And they've done so much for the state that we're looking forward to doing it again and again and again.
Played on that several times. It's a great event.
It's a lot of fun.
Over at Martindale.
Yeah, definitely. And I think obviously it's great for programs like that, especially in those type of communities, to build awareness about what the state has to offer for the kids.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Brian Busher. John Papelbon tries to get out of the 3rd inning, and the pitch. It's down low. Interesting selection of pitches here, going a little more off speed now, Mike.
Yeah, he does seem to be utilizing his off-speed pitches a little bit more. Good play by the catcher right there, getting in front of the ball, blocking it.
It's Alberto Concepcion, who played his college baseball at USC. Best fastball, best slider in the Red Sox minor league farm system. That's from Baseball America. Payoff pitch, tried to get out of the 3rd inning. Chopper to the right side, that's foul. We'll try it again. Last season with the Florida State League, which is high A baseball, Papelbon 12-7 record, 2.64 ERA. That's in 129 innings pitched. He's a midseason and postseason Florida State League All-Star. 3-2 pitch. Again, this is West. Fair ball this time. He'll handle it himself. And with that, they'll strand the would-be tying run at 3rd base. Nice job of pitching there by John Papelbon as he gets out of the 3rd inning. It's still 2-1 Sea Dogs as we go to the home half of the 3rd here on News 8 WMTW. Back here at Hadlock Field, bottom 3, 2-5-1 for the Sea Dogs, 1-3-0 for the Norwich Navigators here at Hadlock Field. The fog has lifted. There was no rain today here in the city of Portland. That's a good sign, and we're playing baseball on cue for a home opener for the first time since 1999. Tonight's trivia question: Mike Bordick holds 2 Major League Baseball records for shortstops, most consecutive chances without an error at 544 consecutive chances, most consecutive games without an error, 110 games. Which 2 players held the previous records? Give you a chance to think about that, Mike, since you are the subject matter. Hanley Ramirez drives one to right center field on the first pitch, and Dan Ortmeyer calls off Fred Lewis. The wind is blowing in just a bit here at Hadlock Field. Not a very windy night. It's just cold and the air is heavy. Ball just seemed to die down.
It did seem to die over there. For a second, I thought it was going to get in the gap, but it kind of ballooned up at the end.
So Hanley Ramirez very aggressive going after the first pitch. Here's Jared Sandberg, so far the man of the hour for the Portland Sea Dogs. Hit one over the monster into the net to give the Sea Dogs a 2-0 lead. And that was, if I could use the term, frozen rope.
That was a frozen rope. Yeah, definitely. Please use that term. On and on.
Like one of the proprietors of the Frozen Ropes clinic here in Portland. You and Mike Coots.
Right. Right.
Teammate at University of Maine?
Well, he wasn't my teammate at the University of Maine. We played for the Auburn Aces together.
Okay.
He was a little bit before me at the University of Maine.
It's still just a great facility for these players. I mean, you know as well as anybody, you're growing up in Maine, you want to, get the upper hand on early competition. You have to have some place to go that doesn't have 3 feet of snow, and there you go, the inside facility with a lot of great instructors there.
Exactly. Well, you hit the nail on the head with the great instructors. I think that's the key, It's giving kids the opportunity to learn more about baseball and the right way to do things.
And Sandberg fouls that one down the right field line, and Von Schell will run out of room. I was over there a couple of weeks ago, and I tell you, once 3 o'clock hits, some of these kids are out of school. I mean, the kids from Portland and Deering and the surrounding areas, Bedford. Boy, I tell you what, in those batting cages and just getting ready for the season.
Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it?
It is.
Kids so excited about baseball.
2 balls and 2 strikes now to Jared Sandberg as Alfredo Simon works into his 3rd inning. He's given up the 2 runs and the 5 hits so far. Late on that one, that goes off the roof of the Expo as well, but going back to your days in Orono at the University of Maine, you guys were accustomed to that. You guys were always, Winkin had you guys working inside the field house before you went down to Florida to work outside, and a lot of these southern teams had probably 20 games under their belt before you played your first one outdoors in grass.
Yeah, if not more. And, such a tribute to Winkin and that program up there. We stressed the fundamentals every day and had to do them the right way.
Hot shot, Brian Busher. And a 5-3 putout, so 2 up and 2 down. But somehow every year, Dr. John Winkin groomed this baseball team with Maine talent. And despite the fact you worked out inside the field house for the better half of January and most of February, you guys found your way to Omaha in the College World Series on more occasion than one.
Yeah, we had I know I can speak for myself, had a great experience up there. And to be able to play against some of the greatest teams in the country and that talent and get some national exposure was a tremendous thrill. And, you know, just a great tribute to Coach Winkin and that program, what they did for the kids here in the state.
Jeremy West, number 5 hitter, the first baseman. He singled into left center field back in that 2-run first inning. Sea Dogs getting 2 runs and 4 hits against the Navigators. And hopefully a lot of these Maine kids, I know some of these Maine baseball players want to go down south, warmer climate schools, but Maine certainly has its share of outstanding baseball talent. You played your high school baseball for Hamden Academy, and you look at a school like Deering, which not only won the state championship but won the American Legion World Series as well, Mike.
Yeah, very impressive. You know what I think is really neat about baseball right now in the state is that so many of the high school coaches played their college baseball at the University of Maine.
Right.
So the kids are really learning the right way to play the game, and with the help of guys like Mike Coots over there at Frozen Ropes, kids are learning the right way to play, and people are taking notice of that.
Good inning there from Alfredo Simon. 1-2-3, and he ends the inning with a strikeout. We played 3 complete from Hadlock Field. 2-1 Sea Dogs on opening night. We're back at the top of the 4th inning on opening night 2005. Norm Karkos and Maine's very own Mike Bortix. 14 years as a Major League Baseball player, and with that he is the subject of tonight's trivia question. And Mike, if you can answer this question for us, you hold a couple of records at shortstops, consecutive chances and consecutive games without an error. And speaking of great defensive plays, how about that at first base by Jeremy West, huh?
Great play on both ends. Pitcher getting over there and first baseman. Of course, he didn't flip the ball, but pitcher had the right instincts anyway.
Exactly. All right, well, speaking of great defensive plays and great defensive shortstops, the answer to our trivia question, most consecutive games at shortstop, chances, and most consecutive, well, actually after this pitch we'll go to it, Tyler Van Schell, the first baseman at the plate. And we're going to let you have the honors, Mike, of telling us who the answer is.
Well, Cal Ripken Jr. had 428 chances, and Ray Ordonez had 101 games.
Van Schell sends us one deep, left center field. Murphy going back, and that is going to be home run.
Oh, my.
That is a home run for Tyler Van Schell, and we have ourselves a tie game at 2. Well, that was quick, Mike. Here it is.
Oh, he got some extension right there.
One more look at the swing here, Mike, as it clears that wall.
Yeah, kind of in the heart of the plate a little bit. Up a little.
Looked like a bell-tie fastball?
Yes, sir. Yes, it did.
So a couple of fastballs doing in John Papelbon. Of course, that one at the knees. This one is up the middle. Nice play by Pedroia. Tries to recover, and he throws the ball away. Valderrama heads into second base. So a breakdown there by the Sea Dogs and Dustin Pedroia, and a runner's on second base. The go-ahead run with 1 out here in the top of the 4th inning. That's an error on Dustin Pedroia.
He made a great play getting to the ball. At second base, he might have had time, but kind of second thought there and tried to hold on to the ball and ended up throwing it down the right field line. But that's just going to come with experience over there at second, getting used to a new position.
So there's 1 out, and Valderrama now at second base. And we were talking about that transition from the left side of the bag to the right side of the bag. Ironically enough, Dustin Pedroia holds the Arizona State record for best fielding percentage in the history of the school at .987.
Wow, got good hands.
And in 2003, he was named the Collegiate Baseball Defensive Player of the Year. Now adapting to a new position at the professional level.
Yeah, probably never got to about 40 degrees down there, though, either.
No, it didn't.
So a little tougher to field ground balls. The glove gets a little stiff in the cold. And still early. I'm sure you're going to see some great things from that second baseman.
It's number 50 for John Papelbon. I think the coldest it got in Tempe was about 75 degrees, and that was in January.
Right.
So Papelbon, the victim of a couple of fastballs, as you said, Mike, the knee-high fastball, and Von Schnell takes him to left center field for the home run, and Benavidez over the main monster in left field. Late swing there, and a nice pitch by John Papelbon.
Location, he's definitely got a live fastball, and I think he's tried to mix up his pitches pretty well. Unfortunately, it looks like they're being really aggressive on his fastball, and when you make a mistake with it down the heart of the plate, looks like they're ready for it.
As we said, pitch count of about 75 pitches and thrown no more than 5 innings. Terry Lunsford, the catcher, struck out. Fans at that one got a piece of that, actually, as Valderrama will have to go back to second base.
You know, in Papelbon's defense, though, I mean, solo home runs aren't bad. It's when you're giving them up with runners on base.
He has good mechanics so far. He's shown good pop on his fastball, good lively fastball. Outside location there, just missing now. But he does idolize Roger Clemens, Mike, and he's got that same build as the Rocket at 6'4", 230 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big kid. I think it's great. That's a great guy to have as a role model and someone to try to emulate.
Swing and a miss right there. I guess he's got the Rockets' aggressiveness too. You think back on March 24th, Red Sox Orioles in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It was a 5-5 game, and newly acquired outfielder Jay Payton was hit by a pitch by Daniel Cabrera on the right hand. And Papelbon, who made his first appearance in Major League Baseball camp, retaliated, brushing back, of all people, Sammy Sosa.
He kind of brushed this guy back a little bit too. But you know, I think that earns some respect in the big leagues, especially when you're in spring training and you're a young pitcher, and you know, one of your top players gets knocked down, and as a young pitcher they ask you to back your players up, and if you go in there and do it, especially with a hitter like Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, exactly. Here you are, a 23, 24-year-old kid, and all of a sudden you're brushing back Sammy Sosa. Certainly caught the raised an eyebrow from pitching coach Dave Wallace, and also Johnny Damon, who was very impressed by the move, for that matter, as well.
It's a hard thing to do, especially as a young pitcher, to go up there and try to knock guys down like Sammy Sosa, and you know, establish that plate and stand up for your own players.
Well, he's telling us that, hey, it's part of the game, and he's learning very quickly. In that game, 3+ innings, 4 runs, 5 hits, and 2 strikeouts against the Orioles in that game he faced in Fort Lauderdale. Hanley Ramirez going back to the bag. And Valderrama goes back to second for that matter. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Trey Lunsford, the right-handed catcher from Odessa, Texas. Spent 2004 with Fresno. He resides in South Haven, Mississippi. Nice pitch there by John Papelbon. Ring up another one. Nice pitch selection. This young man's got some poise and some confidence. He gives up a run, though, the home run to Von Schnell. It's a tie game of 2 on ABC 8. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Quick moving game here on opening night. Just about an hour old. 2-5-0 for the Navigators. 2-5-2 for the Portland Sea Dogs. Murphy, Moss, and Concepcion here. 6, 7, and 8 for Portland Sea Dogs here on opening night. Very good crowd here, I would say, for the considering it's an incredibly cold night out. And I think diehard Maine baseball fans had enough of 104 inches of snow. Broken bat left side. Hutting on the run. They got Murphy by about a half step, Mike. Good play there.
Great play by the shortstop. Very aggressive. Made a nice strong throw. Avoided the broken bat flying out in the infield.
You got to keep her in the ball and avoid the barrel end of the bats.
Yeah.
A night like this, boy, I tell you, that hurts, doesn't it?
Wow.
Splinter the bat.
Doesn't it hurt? Yeah, your hand feels like it's a balloon. It's all swollen up.
There's Tim Hutting, the shortstop for the Norwich Navigators, and the San Francisco Giants AA affiliate. Chopper to the right side from Brandon Moss. And Von Schnell with the assist there. So a couple of quick pitches and a couple of quick outs there for Alfredo Simon, Mike.
Yeah, they, I don't know. Maybe it is too cold. They want to get out of here, but now's the time you got to make this guy work, you know. He struggled the first couple innings with his command, and to come out here in this inning and swing at the first 2 pitches, especially after you know, Papelbon had a, you know, a longer inning last inning. So hopefully we see some pitches taken now.
Here's the catcher, Alberto Concepcion, 23 years old, turns 24 on April 18th, 6'1", 220. Bats and throws from the right side. He's the Red Sox 20th pick in the 21st round in the 2002 June draft, number 628 overall. Played his college baseball for Mike Gillespie at the University of Southern California. Great baseball program there in Los Angeles. Played in a couple of World Series, College World Series in Omaha, and he was a battery mate of Cubs pitcher Mark Pryor. Concepcion, the 2002 Pac-10 Player of the Year, and a finalist for the Johnny Bench Award given to the nation's best collegiate catcher. Nice location there now. 1.
These players on the Sea Dogs have quite impressive resumes, don't they?
They most certainly do. That's fouled away back. Another one right here is Concepcion. I'll tell you what, in May of 1991, this young man made Sports Illustrated's faces in the crowd as he tied a national high school baseball record by hitting home runs in 6 consecutive at-bats.
Wow, that's impressive. I didn't have 6 home runs my whole high school career.
Payoff pitch now to Concepcion. That's pretty well hit to left field. Valderrama's going back. Base of the wall. This will scrape the wall itself. Concepcion turning on the Jets now into second base with a double. Nice piece of hitting there by Alberto Concepcion, Mike. A wall ball double.
Yeah, that was a great at bat. You know, I'm glad he got to work the count, get the count in his favor, and certainly took advantage of it right there.
Here it is one more time, Mike. We'll check out the swing.
Short, sweet. Boom. Nice.
Right above the Sea Dogs lettering.
That was a nice swing right there.
And Valderrama played that ball very well. It could be very intimidating for a young left fielder coming here for the first time and trying to play that main monster, if you will, out in left field.
I agree. I'm sure they talked about that when they came in here to play at Hadlock Field. You know, the left fielder certainly has to be aware of the wall, and the center fielder has to be aware as well to get over there and back up in case he does try to make that play.
Sheldon Fultz in the 9-hole tonight, 23-year-old, 6'3", 170, actually a third-round pick from the Seattle Mariners organization back in 1999. He was traded from Seattle for Matt White. Played in 101 games in center field for the Sea Dogs last season, setting career highs with 9 home runs, 7 triples, and 31 extra base hits. He's got some wheels as well, 5 consecutive seasons with at least 20 stolen bases. 1-0 pitch. Chopped foul. Was on the disabled list for most of June with a hip flexor strain. And he was a high school All-American at George Jenkins in the state of Florida. A look at Sheldon Fultz. Bundled up tonight on a cold night for baseball. With the heavy red sweatshirts on tonight, many of these players.
You wonder how many layers are on underneath that.
Exactly. To the right side. Barbara, and that'll do it. Sea Dogs threaten. They get the wall ball double from Concepcion, but nothing to show for it as Simone gets out of the inning. 4 complete from Hadlock Field. 2-2 game on opening night, 2005. Top of the 5th inning, Norm Karkos, Mike Bordick, Maine's very own Mike Bordick, 14-year Major League Baseball veteran with Oakland, Baltimore, the Mets, and Toronto, former UMaine product as well. Played his college baseball. And how are you liking things up here in the booth so far?
I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. Get to watch some great baseball, and I'm having a good time.
Look at those numbers right there
well.
From Papelbon. 58 pitches, 41 for strikes.
Yeah, that's very impressive. Very impressive.
And this is Tim Hutting going after the first pitch. Actually jams it to shallow right field. Brandon Moss calls off David Murphy. But this is your first time in this ballpark, is it not?
I played here before it was taken over by minor league baseball.
Right.
So, yeah, the first time I've seen it like this, it's very impressive.
Quite a transformation, huh?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, these minor leaguers nowadays, don't know how lucky they have it, you know, playing in these type of stadiums. It's a great experience.
The configurations of the main monster in left field, the dimensions of Fenway Park for the most part, and you know, they want these young players to get a feel for that wall out there and what it's like to play down in Boston. It gives them great incentive.
Well, it's great for the players, and it's great for the fans too. You know, so many Red Sox fans up here, obviously, and to have a piece of Fenway Park and part of the action, I guess, is very exciting for them.
2 balls and a strike now to Fred Lewis. Yeah, back in the day when this was just a baseball field and a couple of bleachers here. Now look at this. So 435,000 fans will hopefully be coming here throughout the course of the 2005 season. David Murphy going to his right, showing some pretty good range there. 2 up and 2 down, and what is going to be, in all likelihood, John Papelbon's final inning.
He's throwing very well.
And as we said, he's got that fastball clocked between 92 and 98. The slider, which he kind of strayed away from. He used that very effectively as a relief pitcher at Mississippi State, and he got more into a curveball. He ran those
right
on
there
there you go. He ran those in 0-0 counts, as he was telling us last night. But working with Red Sox pitching instructor Al Nipper, telling him, encouraging him to expand that repertoire, which includes a splitter and also a cutter, which is what he's working on over the course of the time as well.
Backed up his breaking ball right there. It's nice to see you can throw that for a strike, you know. I mean, pitchers that can throw 3 pitches for strikes anytime they want are going to have success no matter what level they're at.
Nice pitch there by John Papelbon, whose night should be over, and fittingly so, he ends with a strikeout. Nicely done, John Papelbon. 2 runs and 5 hits for the Navigators against him. Nicely done for the big righty from Jacksonville, Florida. Still a 2-2 game on ABC 8. All right, bottom half of the 5th inning here at Hadlock Field, opening night 2005. Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick and our News 8 WMTW crew here on opening night as we're finally playing a home opener here on schedule at Hadlock Field. Think back to a couple of years ago, we were snowed out. In 2003 we were snowed out. 2001 we were snowed out. Charlie Eschbach had the helicopters hovering over the field. Looked like a scene from Apocalypse Now.
Oh. It's tough. Spring in Maine playing baseball. Oh my.
You know about that, going to Hamden Academy and playing your baseball games up at Mahaney Diamond in some of these cold April afternoons, and boy, that's nothing could have been as cold as going up there and playing a game against Vermont or whomever.
I know. That's why we played so well. We took advantage of those teams that would come up and try to beat us in the snow.
Top of the order, Chris Durbin along with Dustin Pedroia and Hanley Ramirez. 1, 2, 3 for the Sea Dogs. It's a sweeping pitch there from Alfredo Simon. And but you guys had everything ready to go back at your college days. I recall going to a game there in '84, and you knocked off New York Tech and Harvard, and Mahaney Diamond was packed. You guys went off to the College World Series that year.
Yeah, that was just a great time. Some of the best times of my life back then. 84, 85, 86. We had a great team. We had great players. We, you know, got to go to the World Series. Guys like Dave Gagne, Billy Reynolds, you know, Scott Morse, Billy Swift was there in '84 still, and it was just an incredible experience.
2-2 now to Chris Durbin. He's also a product out of Baylor. That's a high fly ball to right field. Dan Ortmeyer with it, and he has it for out number 1 here of inning number 5. What's your impression so far on Alfredo Simon there, the pitcher for the Norwich Navigators?
Hey, boy, it looks like he's settled down. You know, he got off to a rough start, but he's settled down. It looks like he's still got great life on his fastball. Seems like he's challenging the hitters, and we've got a great ball game going. Both pitchers have done a great job.
Here is Dustin Pedroia, who's 0 for 2 tonight. He's also committed an error at second base. Of course, being at 5'8", all the comparisons now to David Eckstein. I guess he's been compared to him for most of his life, I guess. And I guess people are going to have those comparisons growing up along those lines every now and then, right?
Yeah, I guess if you're short, you know, you're going to get compared to somebody else who's short. But, you know, the guy seems like he's got great actions out there. And even though he booted the ball tonight, you know, he's going to be fine. Opening night jitters, maybe.
Sure.
You never know. But seems like by his resume, he's got some great skills.
Ball and a strike to Pedroia. Opposite field, down the right field line. That is slicing. Foul. Lost sight of that ball for a while. Not a lot of foul territory down in the right field corner, Mike.
No. If that would have fell on, that would have made him feel a lot better, that's for sure. I'm sure he was talking to the ball the whole way down the first baseline.
Stay fair. First round pick in the June 2004 draft. He's 21 years old, 5'9", 180 from Woodland, California. Of course, played his college baseball in Tempe at Arizona State. 65th pick overall in that June 2004 draft. 1-2 pitch. Number 6 prospect in the Red Sox system by Baseball America. They say he has the best strike zone discipline.
Great. That's a big part of the game nowadays, you know. Having command of that strike zone and taking your walks, on-base percentage is huge.
Red Sox stress that all the way up. That's ripped to left field. Valderrama can't make the play. Bounces right in front of him. Pedroia now hesitates, goes to second, and he'll slide in safely.
Nice base running right there. Stayed aggressive all the way around first base, saw the bobble, and continued on the second base.
Dustin Pedroia trying to get the Sea Dogs the lead run here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Put the brakes on there just for a moment, Mike, and then he turned on the wheels and the afterburners here and slid in safely at second base.
Yeah, he was going hard the whole way, and then saw that the ball was in front of the left fielder, but the left fielder couldn't hold on to it, so he made another move. Boom. Took off to second.
Here he comes into second base, turning on the afterburners there, and pretty decent speed.
Yeah, he runs really well.
That's a single and an error on the left fielder, Carlos Valderrama. Regardless, the Sea Dogs have the lead run on second base here in the bottom half of the 5th inning with just 1 out. Hanley Ramirez at the plate. He is 0 for 2. Ground ball to short. Flew out to Dan Ortmeyer to begin the 3rd inning. That's to the opposite field, and that falls in for a base hit. Pedroia will be waved home. Actually, he stops halfway through. Throw back to third base.
No.
They got him. Oh, my.
I don't think they got. I got a bad angle.
Todd Kloss certainly not happy with that call, as Brian Riley makes the call for the Blue. Here's another look at this one, Mike Bordick.
All right, he got way down the line.
And
tough to call right there, but
we'll have another angle of this hopefully here in just a second. Here it is. There's the right hand. Looks to beat the tag with the right hand.
Yeah.
Ramirez is at first base, and now 2 outs. Unfortunate situation there. Kloss was waving him home, had him halfway through, then put on the brakes and had him back. Ramirez takes off, swing and a miss, throw to second base on the hop. Not in time. Still on base, Hanley Ramirez.
Great hitting too, you know, but a shortstop, and I don't know what happened there. He got halfway down the line and got held up. I think the coach, he was waving him the whole way, and then for some reason held him up at the end. Is that what you saw, Norm?
Yes, that's what I saw. It was a sharply hit ball, and Ortmeyer was quick to retrieve it, and nice throw in. And looked to me like Pedroia was halfway there, then just put on the brakes, and I thought he was safe. I thought the right hand had beaten the tag from Busher.
Yeah, I did too.
Runner in scoring position. That's to the right side and through for a base hit. Ramirez is going to be waved home. Here's the throw. Play at the plate and safe. Sea Dogs lead 3-2.
Nice job. It worked that time.
And Hanley Ramirez fired up. RBI single from Jared Sandberg, who has all 3 RBIs tonight. Here's the play at the plate one more time, Mike.
Well, another great job of hitting and aggressive base running right there. There was no letting up on that one.
Watch Hanley Ramirez get up, clap his hand. Oh, yeah, he's fired up.
Yeah.
Knows it. 3-2 lead for the Sea Dogs.
He might be a little upset he didn't get that RBI earlier. I'm sure he's happy he scored that run, but he probably would have loved to have that RBI too.
Action in the Navigator bullpen. That is Billy Sadler warming up, and of course the pitching coach for the Norwich Navigators is the former Red Sox, the Steamer himself, Bob Stanley.
No, I never faced him.
No? Was that the next question?
It seemed like it.
I'm that predictable, huh? But you did face Bob Tewksbury, who's here later. We'll talk to later on. Who's now into baseball psychology 101 with the Boston Red Sox organization.
Yep.
Sandberg at second base. He's got that home run and that RBI. All 3 runs from the bat of Jared Sandberg, homered in the first. And now Jeremy West at the plate. Singled back in the first, struck out back in the third. 3-2 Sea Dogs here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The pitch. And Sadler continues to warm up for the Norwich Navigators. He is the righty in the bullpen. Jeremy West out of Las Vegas, Nevada. 23 years old, 6 feet even, 200 pounds. Red Sox 9th pick in the 2003 draft. Fans of that one. The first baseman who did quite a bit of catching while at Arizona State, so he's converting. Finished his career at ASU by hitting .353, 36 home runs, tied for 8th in ASU team history. So 2001 freshman All-American. Hit .280 in 71 games in his first pro season with the Lowell Spinners. He was the Red Sox minor league player of the year for the Spinners.
Just another impressive resume.
I know.
These guys are going to have a great team, huh?
Certainly are for years to come.
Yeah. Be fun to watch them over the summer.
Last year in Single A Sarasota, 124 games, 18 home runs, 68 RBIs. He began the season with a 9-game hitting streak. Good eye there. Ball gets away from the catcher, Lunsford, and in the third base goes Jared Sandberg. Well, we talked about Jared Sandberg earlier on the wild pitch there, how he, at the stage of his career, he has almost 200 games in the major league level. I mean, somebody's watching him right now. He's showing some pretty good pop tonight, Mike.
Well, I think it's impressive. Obviously he wants to be in the big leagues, and I don't know what happened the last couple years, but here he is in Double-A, but he looks like he's continuing to play hard and has the understanding that, every chance you get to put a uniform on, somebody's going to be watching, and who knows, this might be the day. And so, kudos to him for going out there and having a good night tonight.
Payoff pitch to West, and that's going to be fouled off the Expo. We'll try it again. Hit it in our truck, production truck.
Oh, nice.
They took it off the roof. Number 1 on the season. So we'll try it again with Sandberg at third base. Fredo Simon delivers home, and the payoff pitch. That's called strike 3. And Jeremy West strikes out for the 2nd time tonight. But the Sea Dogs get the lead run on the RBI single from Jared Sandberg. We have played 5 complete. 3-2 Sea Dogs here on opening night on News 8 WMTW. Top of the 6th inning here, Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick, and Dustin Pedroia sliding into third base last inning. Looked like he caught the right hand of the bag there before the tag was applied.
Yeah, it looked like he got in there. That's an unfortunate play. I think, thinking back on that play, the third base coach was so far down the line, he was obviously sending him.
Sure.
And for one reason or another, he decided to stop, or maybe he just wasn't committed as a base runner, so decided to turn around and go back.
Top of the 6th inning, and John Papelbon is back in the game, Mike. He entered the inning with 66 pitches, so he is back in the game for the 6th inning.
Well, he's throwing great. Seems like he's had great command, and I'm sure they wouldn't want to go over the, they have a pitch count for him, 75 or so, and as a young pitcher, they're probably not going to push him too much further, but he's really been in kind of a groove, and he's throwing well, so hopefully, he only throws 10 or so pitches this inning.
Pedroia on the short hop getting Busher, and Dan Ortmeyer now, cleanup hitter. He is 0 for 1, struck out and grounded out to the first baseman, Jeremy West. Back in the 4th. So Papelbon entered this inning, allowing just 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 7 strikeouts.
I believe that was his 70th pitch.
70th pitch. And that's number 71, outside corner. A nice location by John Papelbon. Been really impressed with this young man's outing, Mike.
Yeah, he's done a super job. And, you know, I'm sure the coach talked to him the last inning in the dugout and asked him how he felt. And this being opening night, there's a lot of adrenaline and stuff going. So they have to be aware of that in the dugout, too. And don't push him too far. It's a cold night. Let this guy have a nice outing and prepare for the rest of the year.
1-2 pitch, high chopper. Papelbon with it, fittingly so.
He can field his position as well. Very nice.
Even give him a putout tonight. So making quick work of Norwich here in the 6th inning. 2 up and 2 down. By the way, Tally Haynes is warming up, the righty in the Sea Dogs bullpen. And that brings up Tyler Von Schell, the first baseman, who homered back in the 4th inning to tie up this game. Went off the scoreboard in left center field. Three runs, 9 hits, 2 errors for the Sea Dogs, 2-5-1 for the Norwich Navigators. That's outside. So Papelbon, excuse me, looking to leave this game with the lead and pick up the first one on the season. Nice pitch there.
Very nice pitch.
83 miles an hour. Took some, well, actually took a lot off that. So now a strike away from leaving the game with the 3-2 lead here in the 6th inning, and the pitch to the right side, West in fair territory, and he'll handle it unassisted, put out, and that'll do it for the Navigators here in the 6th inning. 3 up and 3 down. A very impressive outing, as we said, from John Papelbon. It is 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning on ABC 8.
Democrat.
Exciting game on opening night on Carcos, and Mike Bordick back with you at Hadlock Field, and looks like the fog's starting to roll in now, Mike.
It's coming back.
Oh,
it is rolling in. Wow, I just noticed that.
Alfredo Simon's night is done, and this is Billy Sadler, the right-handed pitcher, last year with Norwich. No wins, 3 losses, ERA under 4. Line on Simone is closed. 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, all earned, 3 strikeouts, 79 pitches, 1 wild pitch. And he's hoping that his teammates will get him off the hook here.
A couple nice pitching performances, though, by both starting pitchers.
I would say so, and the Sea Dogs also have another outstanding pitcher going tomorrow in the form of John Lester, the lefty. So and we were talking about this, Mike, is that this team is really loaded and talented, but as Todd Kloss said last night, the word prospect doesn't mean much when you start the season. You have to live up to that billing.
You're right. You're right there. Everybody's on the same ground, and they're all putting their uniform on the same way. So you got to prove it on the field.
Murphy, Moss, and Concepcion, 7, 8, and 9 for the Portland Sea Dogs. Simone didn't pitch that badly in his defense, Mike.
No, he threw very well. Very well. That first inning was rough for him, but settled right down and did a super job.
Got out of some jams, and of course one beneficial call at third base.
Yeah.
Could be a 4-2 game as we speak.
You're right.
There's Murphy, good-looking kid. He's 6'3", 195. Bats and throws from the left side. First-round pick in 2003 out of Baylor. And just as he was coming to school, a man by the name of Kelly Shopik was just leaving the Baylor program in Waco, Texas. He, of course, played with the Sea Dogs a couple of years back. The defensive catcher in the organization, and Murphy goes down swinging.
Looked like a nasty breaking ball right there.
1 up and 1 down and 1 strikeout for Billy Sadler. You see David Murphy heading back to the dugouts. Brandon Moss at the plate. Grounded out to second base to win the first inning, and a 3-1 putout back in the 4th. As we said, Brandon Moss, 21-year-old from Monroe, Georgia. And he's ranked number 2 in Baseball America's top 30 organization prospects. He's the best hitter for average. Brandon Moss in 2001 signed a national letter of intent to play college baseball for Coach Dave Perno at the University of Georgia. Had some very good numbers in high school at Loganville High School. Hit .541 with 10 home runs and 42 RBIs. As Billy Sadler rings up his second victim tonight But that aside, Moss, not that bad a pitcher. 105 strikeouts in 74 innings.
Wow.
So pulling double duty there at Logan High School.
He's got something to fall back on if the hitting doesn't work out, but it seems like he's a pretty darn good hitter, too.
Alberto Concepcion. Very productive night. Still batting 1,000 there. Single and a double. I'd like to see that number on the scoreboard, even though it's early in the season, Mike. The 1,000, huh?
I know, isn't that beautiful? That is a
beautiful number. And that's a line right to the first baseman, Tyler Von Schell, and so much for that and jinxing him, huh? Only hitting at 667 right now.
Way to go, Norm.
3 up and 3 down for Billy Sadler, who works the 6th inning. On to the 7th on ABC 8. It's the top of the 7th here on ABC 8. Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick on opening night 2005, and the line is done for John Papelbon. Very, very good outing for the young righty. Outstanding young prospect in the Red Sox organization. Goes those 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, and 77 pitches. Mike, 54 of those pitches were for strikes.
Yeah, that's very impressive. You know, a young talent like that, to be able to have that command over the strike zone. Say you fans better come and watch this kid quick, because he might not be around.
Exactly.
He's got some tools.
New pitcher is Joseph T. Haynes, but he goes by Tally, so we'll call him Tally Haynes. The right-handed pitcher, 6'5", very lanky at 210, 28 years old, out of Jackson, Missouri. And he signed by the Red Sox as a free agent December of 2004. Actually signed by Skip Bundy of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays years ago. Last season, 79 relief innings for AAA Syracuse. His first year of baseball was in 1998. Had a pretty good stretch last season in 2004, Mike, from July 10th to August 17th. Held opponents to just 1 run over 12 contests. That's 16 2/3 innings.
That's impressive.
Yep. Inside to Valderrama. Carlos Valderrama.
I wonder what he calls that pitch he's throwing. It looks like a changeup, but sometimes these pitchers that have a lot of command over that pitch make up names for it, like a Fosh or a squash ball. Or throwing about 77. There's no way that could be his fastball, right?
I would think not. No.
And he's thrown 5 pitches, and 4 of those pitches have been that speed. So it looks like he's got pretty good command of it.
Make the swerve and the Fosh, right? The combination of those pitches.
He might pitch backwards. He might be one of those backwards type of pitchers, which they have great success too. They throw their off-speed stuff more than their fastball, and use their fastball as a type of out pitch. So
keeping everybody off balance, and
exactly,
certainly keeping Carlos Valderrama off balance. He's 1 for 2, struck out, singled. Extra base on an error. 2-2 pitch. And that's called strike 3. Nice location there from Tally Haynes.
Yeah, finished him off with a fastball. So he did pitch backwards.
It was very interesting selection of pitches there, Mike.
It was. But, you know, relievers especially like to mix things up like that. And his strength might be that changeup. So stick with that. And then finish him off with something else.
Benavidez at the plate now, the DH. He homered and struck out. One of 2 home runs given up by John Papelbon, but as you alluded to earlier, at least they were solo shots. That was the good news.
Right.
Nice off-speed pitch there, 76 miles an hour in the radar gun in right field. What a stark contrast from facing Papelbon, who's throwing in the low 90s.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice when you can have that kind of weapon in your bullpen. You know, your starting pitcher's throwing 95, and then you go to the bullpen and guys throwing 5 straight 75-mile-an-hour pitches. You know, it's going to keep everybody off balance.
All in 2 strikes. Benavidez. Now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 3-2 lead for the Sea Dogs here in the top of the 7th. rip foul. Of course, the Red Sox have had that luxury of having a knuckleball pitcher in the rotation. Of course, last year with Schilling the power pitcher, and at the time Pedro more the finesse pitcher, and Wakefield the knuckleball pitcher. You had a sinker ball pitcher in Derek Lowe, and just a smart pitcher in Bronson Arroyo.
Yeah, they really had a great pitching staff, and you know, Wakefield really changes everything up. When you come in there and you see Wakefield, that you're going to have to face Tim Wakefield, you just shake your head.
2 strikeouts now for Tally Haynes. 2 up and 2 down, and that brings up Trey Lunsford. And Wakefield pitched an outstanding game for the Red Sox the other day at Yankee Stadium, holding them to just 3 hits.
Yes, he did. He did. When he's got, you know, he has such control over that knuckleball, and when he has command over it, he is so hard to hit. Man. And that's why when I'm commissioner, I'm going to ban the knuckleball.
You're going to ban the knuckleball.
Yeah.
So far, Tally Haynes looking very impressive. 2 up and 2 down, both in the way of strikeouts. He's really keeping these Navigator hitters thinking and keeping them off balance. Lunsford has struck out twice tonight, both coming from Papelbon. His first look obviously at Haynes. And Haynes is ahead on the count at 1-2. Just a cold night for baseball here in the city of Portland. 1-2, got a piece of that. Speaking of relief pitching, what has happened to Mariano Rivera with the Yankees, you think, Bordy?
Boy, oh boy. You know, Mariano's been a great pitcher, and it's great for Red Sox fans to see that he's got a little problem facing the Red Sox. I'm sure everybody's happy about that. And, you know, as a Red Sox fan, I really don't feel bad for him.
A nice piece of pitching there for Tally Haynes, who strikes out the side. Navigator's not even close to making contact there. 7th inning stretch time from Hanlock Field on ABC 8, 3-2 Sea Dogs. We're back at Hadlock Field. Norm Karkos and Mike Bork. The Red Sox are off today, and tomorrow they'll be at Skydome right through Sunday to take on the Blue Jays. And Monday they'll play their home opener against the Yankees at Fenway Park, where they get those beautiful World Series rings, Mike.
Yeah, how about that? That's going to be an exciting day.
You said your first year in opening day in 1990, Oakland, they were getting their World Series, their championship rings, I should say, from the '89 season.
Yeah, that was probably one of the greatest days I had in the big leagues.
Yeah.
You know, it was my first day in the big leagues, and here they were handing out the World Series rings to the world champs, and wow, I'll never forget that. That was something else. I didn't get a ring, but
this is the majors. This is great. So
yeah.
And speaking of, look at these numbers here. As of yesterday, the Sea Dogs sold nearly 250,000 tickets, 247,000 tickets. That's fantastic for the entire season.
That
really almost
is.
Halfway being sold out, I would think.
Yeah, what a great tribute to the city, you know,
it
to
is.
support this team.
Sheldon Fultz leads things off here, home half of the 7th, as Billy Sadler works his second inning for the Norwich Navigators. It's a called strike. Yep, the Yankees are in town on Monday. Knuckle up. 3 interesting games at the stadium to start off the season. Now they're at Fenway Park, 3 o'clock first pitch. And Sheldon Fultz goes down looking. Oh, the Red Sox. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, this kid's got a good breaking ball. He threw it a lot last inning, and he backed it up twice right there for the strikeout.
3 of the 4 batters he has faced, he has struck out. Back to the top of the order, Chris Durbin, and then Dustin Pedroia will follow. And as I was going to say, the Red Sox are at Skydome. You wrapped up your career in Toronto. You thought it was a beautiful city.
It was really a nice city. It's clean. It's safe, you know, and unfortunately they didn't really support baseball up there.
Yeah.
So that was kind of tough going to the Skydome, and there was only 6,000 people. But
yeah.
It was a nice, safe city, and I enjoyed my time up there.
As long as the Maple Leafs aren't playing a playoff game.
Yeah, exactly.
Ty Domi's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, boy, they get fired up about hockey.
Durbin jumps in that one to center field. Lewis goes for a run, and he flags it down right on the warning track. That ball had some giddy up on it, Mike.
He really hit that hard. That was a great play by the center fielder to get back to the spot.
So 2 up and 2 down. That brings up Dustin Pedroia. He's 1 for 3 on the night. A single back in the 5th. Grounded out to the shortstop Hutting in the 2nd. Little flare to Hutting back in the 1st. He played for Carlos Tosca in Toronto, the Sea Dogs inaugural manager. Great guy.
Yeah, He was a very, very, very nice guy. He knew the game. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for him up in Toronto, but you know, he's getting an opportunity with the Diamondbacks this year as the third base coach, and I'm sure he's going to do a great job.
Wish him well in Arizona. Kind of a rough start in opening that against the Cubs at the Bob, though.
Yeah.
16-6.
Yeah, I bet they didn't think that game was ever going to end.
Two 2-0. 3-0 now. Hanley Ramirez is on deck. Pedroia, of course, caught up in that situation between third and home. He put the brakes on as he was rounding home on the single there by Hanley Ramirez. Looked from our standpoint as if he was safe, and that right hand got on the bag, but umpire called it differently, and on 4 pitches, Pedroia will sprint to first base and the base on ball. Is that the first base on ball surrendered tonight? Yes, it is.
Wow, that's impressive.
Thought it was kind of odd.
I guess all the talk about you know, how base on balls can hurt you is sinking in. This is good. This is good baseball right here.
Crisp game tonight. Fast moving. Not even 2 hours old, and that brings up Hanley Ramirez, who scored the go-ahead run back in the 5th inning. Thought he was going to single home the winning at the go-ahead run, I should say, in the form of Dustin Pedroia, but we just talked about that a second ago. As we've been talking about, #1 prospect in the Red Sox organization for 3 consecutive years, as rated by Baseball America.
He did a nice job of hitting his last at bat, that line drive to right field.
Chopper to second base. LaBarbera. And that'll do it for the Norwich Navigators here, and the Portland Sea Dogs, I should say, at the plate in the 7th inning. 7 complete here from Hadlock Field. The Sea Dogs still hanging on to a 3-2 lead here on News 8 WMTW. Hadlock Field, gorgeous night for baseball. Opening up a weekend series here in the city of Portland. Gila jumps on that one, pretty well hit down the left field line. Is it fair? Fair ball, and that's a home run. Grand slam. Chris Aguila, it's 11-3. Top of the 8th inning, Norm Karkos, Mike Bordick back here at Hadlock Field. 3-2 Sea Dogs here on News 8 WMTW. 9-1-2. Hunting, Lewis, and LaBarbera will be at the plate now for the Norwich Navigators, as Tally Haynes struck out the side in the 7th inning, and Norwich not even close to putting the ball in play.
They're having a hard time with that changeup. I think it's just because, you know, Papelbon came in throwing 95, and now all of a sudden they got to hit this 75-mile-an-hour changeup.
He's the best contact of the night, and that goes off the Expo. So between Papelbon with 7 strikeouts and now Haynes with 3, 10 strikeouts for Sea Dogs pitching tonight, and of course more strikeouts to the Maine Children's Cancer Program, the Strikeout Cancer and Kids Program, I should say. Off to a great start. Keep this pace up, they'll be in great shape. It's outside. I understand you did some work with Toronto during the spring.
I did. I went down and for 10 days and worked with some of the young infielders. They have a young shortstop up there right now in the big leagues, Russ Adams, and I got to work with him a little bit. So it was a nice experience, something new, and I'm probably going to be doing a little bit of roving this summer, checking out some of their teams. And I know when Manchester comes into town to play the Sea Dogs, I'll be coming down.
They have a brand new stadium, the defending champs.
Yeah.
I believe they're opening it up tonight down in Manchester, but I mean, maybe coaching in your future. Do you like that aspect of the game?
Yeah, I like coaching. I think that's fun.
1-2 now. Now it's 2-2. So how long did you spend, how many, 10 days? Or
10 days.
10 days down there in Toronto.
Yeah. I spent half my time in the minor league camp and half my time in the big league camp. So
very close to J.P. Riccardi, the man who, after all, signed you back in the day, right, in '86.
Yeah, I have quite a connection with the Toronto Blue Jays. J.P. Riccardi signed me, and he's from Massachusetts. Brian Butterfield's their third base coach, and he's from Maine.
Right.
Dickie Scott, who is the minor league coordinator for the Blue Jays, is from Ellsworth, and I played high school ball against him, so nice connection there.
And that is 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Tally Haynes. to begin his Sea Dog campaign for 2005.
Nice start.
Top of the order, Fred Lewis at the plate. It's a strikeout victim of Papelbon, actually, to start the game. Singled back in the third, popped up to David Murphy back in the fifth. So 4 consecutive strikeouts now for Tally Haynes. Fred Lewis hitting at 133 to start his campaign for 2005. Big swing and a miss there. Man, what a nice pitch.
That is a great pitch. You know, it's that arm action. It's so deceptive. I remember, you know, facing Pedro Martinez. The reason why he was so successful is his arm action. Everything looked the same coming out of his hand, and it looks like the same thing here.
Murphy going for a run, flags it down in left center field. Nice speed there in left center field by David Murphy, who was playing shallow as it was, Mike.
Very nice play. That's a good-looking kid out there. He got to that ball well.
Yep. Here it is one more time, Mike. How shallow he was, and just good speed.
Yeah, he was playing shallow, and he got to that ball quick. That was a great jump. Great jump, and it's hard to read when a guy pulls his hands through the way he did. You know, kind of inside out it, and really good instincts out there in center field.
It was the first time somebody put the ball in play against Tally Haynes. This is A.J. LaBarbera, strikeout victim back in the fifth. And that is off the top of the mound, picked up by Hanley Ramirez on the scoop. Nicely done. Good instincts there.
Great play
by young Hanley Ramirez. We'll get a good look at that. Hopefully, after the break, we go to the home half of the 8th inning. It is still 3-2 Sea Dogs. Nice job there by Mr. Tally Haynes.
In a world where opportunity knocks only once, you must act fast to get $182 a month for 24 months on a limited allocation of 2005 Ford Ranger XLT Super Cab 4x4 automatics. This is a limited engagement of Ranger Super Cabs for just $182 a month. Get a V6 engine, AM/FM stereo CD player, 16-inch wheels, AC, and more for just $182 a month for 24 months. But hurry, because when they're gone, they're gone. Only at your New England Ford dealer.
Wait for the hash browns.
Mornings are looking up thanks to McDonald's breakfast bagel sandwiches. Freshly made with egg, cheese, and your choice of sausage, steak, or bacon. Try one today. Now open at 6 a.m. or earlier.
For some companies, equipment rental is a new line.
Can I help you?
For some, it's a sideline.
And what can I get for you, dear?
And for others, it's the same old line.
You're gonna need the instructions for this, baby.
But at Handyman Equipment Rental, we have the right tool, the right advice, and whether contractor or homeowner, you'll know how to use our equipment before you leave the store.
Careful. Don't hurt yourself now.
All right, on Carcos and Mike Bordick back here, bottom of the 8th inning. The Sea Dogs hoping for a couple of insurance runs here as they lead 3-2, bottom of the 8th inning. Mike, you were talking about all the great young prospects here. Think back to when you were just fresh out of Maine and you began your Class A career, in Medford, then you worked up to Huntsville. I mean, you guys had this level of excitement. There was a buzz, not just one player who was a prospect, but a handful of players, knowing that you're going to make an impact. And what is that like, knowing that when you go to A-ball, you got a bunch of guys around you, knowing that you guys have a chance to make an impact at the pro level in about 3 or 4 years?
Well, I was never a prospect, Norm, so I don't know, but I'll tell you, as you climb through, though, the minor leagues and you make it up to AA, it seems like you're knocking on the door of the big leagues, and it's a very exciting time. And I think, especially for these kids here playing in Portland, they're all very highly touted, and the Red Sox are a championship team, so they're all so excited and obviously want to make it to the big leagues. So they're in the right organization to do that. They just have to continue to go out there and work hard and do the right things, day in and day out. And that's how you get to the big leagues, just being consistent on a daily basis.
In the course of time, I think we've seen well over 100, maybe 109 baseball players who played on this ballpark for the Sea Dogs organization, whether they were the Marlins or the Red Sox who have gone on to play Major League Baseball. Bottom 8, 3-2 Sea Dogs. Jared Sandberg has been the big man of the plate so far, driving in all 3 of the runs. with a 2-run shot back in the first inning, and the RBI single scoring Hanley Ramirez back in the 5th.
Have you mentioned that his uncle is Ryan Sandberg?
I haven't yet, no.
Well, I just mentioned it. His uncle is Ryan Sandberg, who's going into the Hall of Fame, right?
That's right. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Just a couple of months.
That's great. With Wade Boggs.
Yes. It's coming up a couple of months in Cooperstown. Statement from the Red Sox medical director, Dr. Thomas Gill, and Terry Francona. We'll do that after this pitch here. 2-2 pitch. That's into center field. Lewis is going to go for a run, and Lewis will watch this one go over the wall. Home run.
Wow. He's got some pop, huh?
What a night for Jared Sandberg. Hope Rhino's watching somewhere.
He might be in the wrong league, don't you think?
2 home runs and an RBI single. And it is 4-2 Sea Dogs on the home run to center field by Jared Sandberg. Here it is again, Mike.
Ooh. That was a great swing on a hanging curveball. Man, oh man, look at that power coming through. That was a great swing. You know, I think, you know, a tribute to Sandberg. Obviously, he's been sitting on the bench. He's watched this kid pitch now for 2 innings. He's flipping that curveball over, and he's throwing it for strikes primarily. I think he's only thrown 1 breaking ball for a ball. So he might have gone up there actually sitting on that breaking ball, and he got it.
Certainly did. Let's get to that statement now from Red Sox medical director Dr. Thomas Gill and Terry Francona. Quote, "The plan has performed several series of tests on Terry. The results of the initial series are very good. His heart function looks strong, and there is no indication whatsoever of a heart attack. We plan to perform further tests tomorrow, and if the results are consistent with what we have seen so far, we hope to be able to release Terry from the hospital very soon." So all our best going to Terry Francona. Scary situation yesterday in New York.
Very scary, yeah. Very scary.
So it's a ball and 2 strikes now to Jeremy West, who struck out a couple of times tonight, also singled back in the first. There's opposite field foul back toward this way. Billy Sadler had been cruising along through innings 6 and 7, and now that insurance run, hopefully to preserve the win for John Papelbon here tonight on opening night. What a night for Jared Sandberg so far. That was well over 400 feet. That's the deepest part of the ballpark, actually. Maybe 410, I would say. Hit a first inning shot over the main monster, and this one here to straightaway center field.
On a cold, cold night, too.
Exactly. A lot of pop, a lot of power, excuse me.
Yes, he does.
Now the count is full to Jeremy West. Clay Meredith warming up for the Sea Dogs in the bullpen. Going to close out the show for the Sea Dogs. And John Papelbon, and Jeremy West draws the base on ball.
I'm glad Jeremy just drew that walk, because his last at bat, the umpire called a low strike on him that I thought was a ball, and he took that low pitch right there and, you know, kind of stayed with his game plan and drew that walk. So hats off to West.
There's Meredith warming up in the bullpen as we speak. And here's David Murphy. Hopefully with a chance to add a few more runs with nobody out here in the 8th inning. Murphy's out of Spring, Texas. That, of course, is the home of former Sea Dog phenom pitcher Josh Beckett, now with the Florida Marlins. As we said, in his last at bat, went to Baylor, and he chose Baylor over the likes of Texas and Texas A&M.
I think he just hit his glove. Yes, he did. Catcher interference.
So Murphy is off to first base, and that advances Jeremy West to second on the catcher interference. And here comes, I believe, that Bob Stanley. As the steamer makes the slow trek to the mound. More action in the Norwich bullpen. And here's the catcher's interference again, Mike.
Okay.
Couldn't really see it right there. There we go. Hits the bat right there.
Yeah. Catcher reached out there a little bit too much. That's got to hurt too, don't you think?
I would think so. Oh, I would think so. Just cold night, warm night, that just hurts in general.
Yeah.
Trey Lunsford, the guilty party there, as the steamer slowly makes his way back. He's not, he's taking his time back to the dugout. It's Bob Stanley.
Yes, he is.
Not in any hurry, I think. So we have Jeremy West at second and David Murphy now at first base, and Brandon Moss at the plate, who's swinging after the first pitch.
What's the ruling now on that catcher's interference? Does the batter get any credit for that?
I'll have to ask Mike Beveridge that. No at bat.
No at bat.
No at bat. It's an error on the catcher. That drops in there for a strike. Brandon Moss. Oh, 0-2 with 2 on here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the pitch. It's inside, and give these fans a lot of credit here, Mike Bordick. I mean, look at the faithful here at Hadlock Field on a cold night. Many of these baseball fans have been here since maybe 5:30, and the opening ceremonies began at 6 o'clock. That's 2.5 hours ago of 45-degree weather. I would think cooler than that now.
Yeah, they are loyal fans for sure.
Brandon Moss, big swing and a miss right there, and the off-speed pitch gets fooled, and he goes down for the second time tonight, and that brings up Alberto Concepcion. And here comes a pitching change now for the Norwich Navigators. So not a bad outing tonight for Billy Sadler. I think he's maxed out tonight, obviously.
I thought he threw pretty well. He had command of that breaking ball, but you saw that professional hitter in Sandberg take advantage of that one hanger.
And this pitching change is brought to you by Maine Medical Center as the Navigators work their 3rd pitcher of the night. 40 pitches thrown by Billy Sadler. The Sea Dogs do have that insurance run on that massive home run to center field by Jared Sandberg. And this is Anthony Pannone, the 6'3" righty from Anaheim, California. Played in San Jose last season in the San Francisco Giants organization. So 40 pitches for Billy Sadler. Not that badly, as you said, Mike. Pretty decent outing tonight.
There have been some great pitching performances tonight. It's been fun to watch. It really has been.
The Sea Dogs opening up this homestand, hopefully in grand style. We've got one more look at that catcher's interference here, Mike. Let's take a look at it one more time, as we get the replay queued up here momentarily. All right, this is live TV, Mike, so little soft shoe over here. As Anthony Pannone takes his warm-up pitches for the Norwich Navigators. Sea Dogs have Jeremy West at second and David Murphy at first base. Four runs and 10 hits for the Sea Dogs, 2-5-2 for the Norwich Navigators. Same two teams go at it tomorrow here at Hadlock Field. Here it is one more time, Mike. Right there.
Oh my! That didn't look good. Ooh.
And Trey Lunsford still in the game, to his credit. Here it is again. Watch it just completely turn over. Ooh, man.
Yeah, Ali.
That stings. With that bat speed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alberto Concepcion with 1 out. Runner in scoring position at second is Jeremy West, looking to do a little more damage now. This is, as we said, Anthony Pannone, the 3rd pitcher tonight, replacing Billy Sadler. Missing inside. 1-0. Pannone 6'3", 220. Lives in Anaheim, California. That ball gets away from the catcher, Lunsford, who quickly retreats.
He's got some quick feet back there, but he's got a sore wrist, I'm sure.
Yes, he does. And a nice pack tonight.
He chose it, right? He could have been a pitcher or probably a third baseman, but he wanted to be a catcher.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Now it's 3-0.
They might green light him right here. Try to get another run across the board.
.3-0 pitch. Looking all the way. 3-1. Humberto Concepcion, the 2002 Pac-10 Baseball Player of the Year. As we said, took part in a couple of College World Series for the men of Troy. Now looking at a 3-1 count with Sheldon Fultz, the DH, number 9 hitter, on deck.
They might put the runners in motion as well here. 3-1 count.
See if Todd Kloss sends him. Sea Dog skipper in the third base coaching box. Runners do not go to the left side. And a 2nd for 1 on the pivots from LaBarbera, and they turn the 5-4-3 double play to get out of the inning. Sea Dogs threaten, but they do get that insurance run courtesy of Jared Sandberg. That massive home run to straightaway center field. It's 4-2. The Dogs will try to close it in the 9th. From Carcos, Mike Bordick back at Hadlock Field as the Dogs try to close out the show and win their first game of 2005 and win it for John Papelbon, who pitched brilliantly, as did Tally Haynes. And now Clay Meredith comes on in to hopefully end things for the Norwich Navigators here at Hadlock Field. Nice, somewhat of an orthodox delivery there, Mike.
Yeah, he's, you know, a sidewinder, it looks like. Might even drop down a little bit more on occasion, but looks like he's sinker slider guy and has command. He's thrown a lot of strikes in his warm-ups. Good movement on that one.
Clay Meredith, 6 feet even, 180, the righty. 21 years old. He'll turn 22 on June 4th. There's a good look at him right there. Resides out of Richmond, Virginia. Played his college baseball for Virginia Commonwealth University. The Red Sox 5th pick in the 6th round, 185 overall of the 2004 June draft. So we've seen Pedroia and Meredith both out of that 2004 class. Reported to Augusta last season. Was perfect across the board in 13 outings. 0.00 ERA, 8 hits, 3 walks, 18 strikeouts, and 15+ innings, Mike.
That's why he's in Double-A this year, I bet. That's pretty impressive.
Very impressive. First batter he's facing is Brian Busher. Fouls that one. Busher is 0 for 2 tonight. Busher, Ortmeyer, and Von Schell, 3, 4, and 5 in the Navigator lineup. Meredith holds the VCU record in a single season for ERA, 1.19 in 2003, and a career ERA, 2.52. Ground ball to Pedroia, back of the lip, and there's 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Nice play right there by Pedroia. You know, that play and the moving over to second base is a tough thing to figure out, because if you're a shortstop and you get that same ball, you might have to play it differently, being a little bit more aggressive. He has time to sit back, relax. He actually took a step back on that ball to get a better hop, and that's what it's all about, understanding, you know, what to do and how to make those adjustments at second base, and he made the right adjustment there.
Well, as you said, he made that error earlier, but it's opening night. It's cold, and just you get those jitters going on, but he settled down very nicely. They're very patient, very poised.
Right.
The back of the lip on the right side. Yep. Ortmeyer, Dan Ortmeyer, he is 0 for 3, struck out. Back in the 1st inning. Grounded out. Jeremy West in the 4th, and popped up to, at the time, John Papelbon back in the 6th. Checks a swing and around. Ball and 2 strikes. Getting back to John Papelbon, amazing numbers. No walks, 2 3-ball counts.
It's very
Again,
good.
Pedroia, this time moving up. Ooh, quick play there.
Guy runs pretty good for a big kid, doesn't he?
Looked harmless, but got him by about a step. And start contrasting ground balls there from Pedroia. One on the back of the lip, and this one that charged the ball nicely, but not over aggressive there at second base. Here it is again.
That's right.
How close this play actually was, Mike.
That guy is scooting down the line too. He probably caught the second baseman off guard a little bit, that he got down there so well. But those are tough plays. You know, the shortstop earlier in the game made a nice play on a slow roller as he came in, but he kind of broke himself down a little bit, got under control, made a nice throw to first base. And so many young infielders tend to be over aggressive and don't understand the base runners, how fast they're going, so they have to make those adjustments. And a couple real nice plays right there by the middle infielders.
Strike away from the ball game. Clay Meredith delivers. Chopper foul. But no, it's very good tools, as you said there, from Pedroia, who will be making the adjustments over the course of time, playing shortstop in college baseball, one of the great defensive players in college baseball during his time. And now as a second baseman here at the pro level. It's 0-2 to Von Schell. Meredith delivers home, and the pitch is fouled back. We'll try it again. Sea Dogs are 5-6 all time in season openers, hoping now to go to 500 in that category. They're 6-5 in all-time home openers. 0-2 pitch, not missing by that much. Good pitch selection there. Brings the fans to their feet here. 2 reasons. Hopefully a game-ending pitch and to stay warm, and he got him. With the strikeout, fitting ending for Clay Meredith and the Sea Dogs, who pick up the win on opening night 2005 here at Hadlock Field. 4-10-2 for the Sea Dogs, 2-5-2 for the Norwich Navigators. Very good outing for John Papelbon, and at the plate it was all about Jared Sandberg. Couple of home runs and an RBI back in the 5th. Sea Dogs are 1-0 on the 2005 season. We're back to wrap things up after this on ABC8.
I'm Christopher, and I use Yahoo Search. Yahoo Search 好有名㗎. I went on Yahoo, and I did the search, and then I got to the Great Wall of China. 係關於 Mountain Rushmore. It is just a big wall. Mountain Rushmore 係好高好高㗎. It's about 4,000 miles long, I think. 我最中意係 Thomas Jefferson 同埋 George Washington.
Search engine, homework engine, life engine.
Yahoo!
Wow.
The new fresh toasted Absolute Angus Steak Sub. Mouth-watering Angus steak, freshly baked bread, crisp, fresh vegetables, and toasted to perfection. Subway, eat fresh.
Every Sunday, for just $8.99, get 2 fresh-made regular sandwiches. That's 2 feet of fresh-made taste made right before your eyes. With delicious meats, crisp veggies on fresh-baked gourmet bread. Every Sunday, 2 foot-long sandwiches for just $8.99.
Good evening, I'm Tori Wright, and coming up tonight at 11 on News 8 WMTW, the doors to St. Peter's Basilica are closed. Now the final preparations are underway for Pope John Paul II's funeral. Save our shipyard, that's what supporters of the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard hope these letters will do. Convince the military not to shut it down. And investigators say he torched an Auburn apartment building, leaving almost 20 people homeless. Now a grand jury has indicted him. Join us for those stories and more at 11.
Norm Karkos and Mike Bordick back at Hadlock Field as the Sea Dogs fans go happy. 52-78 on hand for opening night. The game lasting 2 hours and 9 minutes. A very brisk, crisp game. Sea Dogs, 4 runs, 10 hits, 2 errors. And Norwich, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 2 errors. John Papelbon, the winning pitcher, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 7 strikeouts, 77 pitches, 54 for strikes. And Alfredo Simon, the losing pitcher, 5 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs in the losing effort. The player of the game tonight is, without a doubt, we think Jared Sandberg. A couple of home runs, one over the main monster in left, and the other for an insurance run in the 8th inning, and also an RBI back in the 5th. And Jared Sandberg becomes the first Sea Dog player to hit 2 home runs here on opening day at Hadlock Field since Charles Johnson did it against the Albany Colony Yankees on the very first game here at Hadlock Field in 1994. Good outing tonight from Jared Sandberg, Mike Bordick.
That was very impressive and a great way to start the year, and it was an exciting ball game. We saw some great pitching and obviously the clutch performance by Jared.
And as we said, he's in good company on opening night. Opening day, it was 1994. Charles Johnson hit not 1 but 2 against Albany Colony, and tonight it's Jared Sandberg who gets the job done, the offensive hero, and John Papelbon, also a fantastic outing as well. Next game, Mike Bordick will be joining us for the game on Friday, June 3rd, 7 o'clock, as the Sea Dogs take on the New Britain Rockcats, only here on ABC 8, News 8, WMTW. For Mike Bordick, it's been a pleasure working with you tonight. Looking forward to our next 3.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
You did a great job, Bordy. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on June 3rd, Sea Dogs and the Rockettes. Tonight's final opening night, Sea Dogs 4, Navigators 2 for ABC 8 crew and Mike Bordick. I'm Norm Karkos. Have a good night from ABC 8.